All right, domain and range, remember, is in alphabetical order, just like X and Y is alphabetical order. So your domain is your X's, your range is your Y's. So when it says what's the domain of this, it's really just asking you what are my X's. So what are your X's? 1, 7, 2, 7, but we already have it, and 5. Range, what are your range is your Y's. So your range is 4, -3, 9, 2, and 4, which we already have 4. So that is our range. Now, on your exam, it's multiple choice. They probably will have them in order. So hopefully you know that you can have it in order. It's the same thing because they're just numbers. So they probably will have 1, 2, 5, 7. On this one, they'd probably have -3, 2, 4, 9. They're not going to have both of them and say which one is it. They're not. It's not like that. It's going to be clear cut. It might have both of these and say which is the domain, but it's not going to be like two things that could be the answer and which one is it. Yes. Good question. Yep, good question, because when I was doing this, I was remembering to tell you. Yes, you get an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, whatever you can fit on the front and back. You cannot just rip off one of my review pages and say that's my page, but it has to be your work. So as long as it's your work, 8.5 by 11, front and back. All right. And so whatever you want to put on it. So you might want to start that right away. You know, start putting stuff on it. All right. Does these points represent a function? Remember, if 2 points line up over top of each other and it fails the vertical line test, it's not a function. If you put 7, -3 and 7, 2, they are going to line up above each other. It will fail the vertical line test, so it's not a function. Is your number 2 a function? No, because it fails the vertical line test. Number 3, it says, what is the domain of this function? What can you not have on the bottom of a fraction? What can you not divide by? 0. So what would make this bottom 0? -3. So that means x can be all real numbers except x cannot equal -3. While I'm reading number 4, I want you to think about what is it asking you to do. It says, if the domain of this function is -3, 0, 1, find its range. What does it want you to do? It wants you to plug these in and give an answer. So if I put -3 in, it says absolute value of -3 plus 2. So what is the absolute value of -3? 3 plus 2 is 5. So my first answer is 5. Then you put a 0 in. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. So you're literally putting these numbers in for your absolute value. So this is your answer. So if this is my domain, my range is. So it's saying, what is your y value? F of -3. What is it asking me to do? It's asking me to put in -3 in for what? The x in my what function? Yep, the f function. Yep. So we're going to go into this one. We're going to go 3, instead of my x, I'm going to put negative 3 squared minus 4. Negative 3 squared is 9. So I have 3 times 9, which is 27, minus 4, which is 23. I want you guys to take a second and try g of 2. I want you guys to try g of 2. And remember, if you have this done, you can continue on with other pages too, but we're just going to make sure you guys understand this. So remember, it's asking you to put that 2 in for the x value of my g. You remember g of x is equal to 4 plus 2x. So I'm putting in this 2 in for that x. So g of 2 is equal to 4, plus 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8. Letter C, the first thing you have to do is g of 3, because you always have to do the innermost. So you have to put a 3 in for g, get an answer, and then put that in for f. So try that one. Do you understand that, Hannah? So what does this ask me to do right there? So it wants you to put the 3 in for the x of g, right? So we got to take this function down here. So we're taking 4 plus 2, but now instead of x, we're going to put a 3. So 4 plus 3 times 2 is my 6. So that is 10. Once I get 10, I have to say f of 10. And then what is it asking me to do? Put 10 to f of the x, right? Of your f. So I'm going to put it in of this one. So it says 3, and now instead of x, I'm going to have 10 squared minus 4.
me.
10 squared is 100, so I have 300 minus 4 is 296. D, what they want you to do is to take g of x and plug it in for f. So I'm going to do f of 4 plus 2x. Because g of x is 4 plus 2x. So when I put this into my function of f, see what you would get. Oh, this one's not here. Sorry, Marissa's not here. My friend, she's not here. Not you. The other one we have is 3 times x squared. Sorry. I don't know why I'm writing it down. So you have to put in this in for your x value. So we have 3 parentheses 4 plus 2x minus 4, and I have to square that because we're putting this in for the f function. This was my f function. All right.
Why'd you feel a little brown?
Oh, because I had a brain fart. This I went to wrote that. What is your f function?
I don't know, I'm like confused.
On this whole problem? Okay. I did have a brain fart, so it might help you. Just a second. Just a second. Time out. We'll just start over.
I wish I had any. Or midterm.
This is 7th hour, so it is next Tuesday.
Do you have the schedule of all of them?
Yep, they're right. It's right in front of the scissor drawer. Okay. All right, Lincoln. Let's start over. All right, eyes and ears. Let's start over. If you start with f of g of x, what does g of x mean?
4 plus 2x.
Okay, so you bring down your f and you have 4 plus 2x. All I'm doing is I replace this here. Okay. Then what I was supposed to do, but I got distracted because someone came in, so it's my fault. But what you want to do is you want to put this in for the x of f. So I'm taking and putting the 3 parenthesis, and I'm putting this in 4 plus 2x squared minus 4. Now, remember when you have the square, what does that mean? It means 3 times 4 plus 2x times 4 plus 2x minus 4. Why I'm putting this around here is because that's the part we have to do first. We have to do that part first. So all I'm going to do is bring down my 3 and put a parenthesis, and I'm going to solve this out. How do I multiply two binomials? So what I do is I take the 4 times 4, like FOIL.
Yeah.
So I go 4 times 4, which is 16. 4 times 2x is 8x. 2x times 4 is 8x. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Then what you're going to have is you are going to take, and let's simplify this right here. So I'm going to bring down my 3, and all I'm going to do is combine that right there.
Yeah.
So I have 3, and we have 16 plus 16x plus 4x squared minus 4. All right, so then we have to distribute. 3 times 16 is 48 plus 48x. 3 times 4 is 12. X squared minus 4. To save one step, hopefully you guys are okay with it, I'm going to start putting them in order. What goes first? 12x squared. Then my 48x, and I'm going to combine these two together so I don't have another one, and it gives me the 44 is right. So our answer was my 12x squared plus 48x plus 44. Yep. 12x squared plus 48x plus 48, or 44.
Really, something like that?
Yes.
It's so long.
There's only gonna be like 1 or 2 problems in each session.
Yeah. There's
It's
no.
really not. Like it seems like a lot of stuff. But
What?
It's all different.
I have B lunch. Yep.
I know.
So
Yep.
do I. What is that?
Is it?
All right.
Plus 44?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to do all of these ones for you, but remember when you are graphing these, find an XY and do some points so you can graph these. Hopefully all of you know what these look like, all right? All of these are lines. So they're going to be straight lines up and down, side to side, diagonal, something like that.
First one, number 12, that's a crab one.
Number on 6. We're at 6.
Oh, my bad.
All right. Number 9. How do you find the equation? How do you find the slope of a line if you're given 4x minus y is equal to 8?
Y equals mx plus b.
That is right. Y equals mx plus b. And remember, the number in front of x is your slope.
Wait, so are we going over all these?
Nope,
I did all these.
I'm not going. I'm just giving hints on these ones. I'm done with these ones. We're going to go on. That is if you want the y minus y1, is that what you're saying? Equals your m times x minus x1. That is if you're given two points and you want an equation for a line, that's what you use. And your slope of a line, remember, is your y's subtracted over your x's. Remember that parallel means the same slope. Perpendicular is the negative, and you flip the slope. Really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, whether you have it done or not, look at number 11. This is on your exam. Hopefully you guys get it all right. It's a quick one. You should all get this right. You should be able to look at these ones and say which is not linear. Remember, non-linear means what is not a line. So look at these and tell me which one you think is not a line. Now there's only one. It's C. Because remember, this could be like y equals 2x plus 0.
Yep.
On 12, the thing that you guys need to remember is if you have y equals x squared, what does it look like? A u. So remember that y equals x squared is a u. What does y equals the absolute value of x look like? A v. These ones, non-linear means not a line. So if you were to graph this, it would be a line. This one you could put into the y equals mx plus b, and this is a line that passes through x at 2. So it's a straight line. 1, 2. Whatever doesn't cause a straight line. Yep. Yep. Very good. All right. $14. If you rent a car, 14 and 15 is done the same way. So I'm going to do one of them and then you'll do the other one. If you rent a car and you drive 100 miles, it costs $40. So remember, your x and y is what you're looking for. You're looking for a point. If you drive 150 miles, it costs you $48.50. And it wants you to find 2 points, find the equation, and predict if you drive 250 miles. Since you are predicting the cost, that tells me that my y is cost.
Why is the note different?
I don't know, because it is. There you go. So you read this, and I figured out the cost is my y. Let's reread the sentence. It says, if you rent a car and you drive 100 miles, so it means 100 miles, because this is my miles is my x, it costs me $40. If you drive 150 miles, your cost is $48.50. Now it asks you to find an equation through these 2 points. 2 equations you can use. Some of you use y equals mx plus b. You solve for m, you put in the 2 points, solve for b, plug it back in. I prefer the equation y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. That's the equation I prefer. Either one, we still have to find our slope. That's how you find your slope. Yep, but you have each one of them have to find m. Yep, m is your slope. But it says find an equation for the line, so we still have to find our slope. So remember that your slope is your y's over your x's. So you are taking your y's, so we're going 48.50 minus 40 over 150 minus 100. So in your calculator, you would go and say 8.5, because I'd subtract that, divided by 50, that's 0.17.
That's low.
As a slope. It's meaning that it's 17 cents a mile. Yeah, it's probably low because they're probably making you usually probably like 30 cents a mile, but I don't know. Anybody rent a car?
No.
Huh?
It's about 20 cents a mile.
About 20 cents a mile now. So this is my slope. So we have y minus y1, so 40, is equal to, my slope is 0.17 times my x minus my y, which is 100. I will tell you that they might stop there on your test. They might actually have this as your answer. So make sure you know that that's a possibility. Or they might distribute it and solve it out. So if we had to distribute it, we would distribute this to these ones. So I have y is equal to 0.174 or 0.17x. And I'm going to bring this 40 over. And in my calculator, hopefully you guys are okay with saying 0.17 times my negative 100. I get your negative 17, and I'm adding 40 because I'm bringing that to the other side. Is that okay? Because I'm adding 40. So I'm going to plus 40. I get a plus 23 is my equation for my line. You distribute it, remember? So negative 0.17 times my negative 100 is a negative 17. When you take this, 0.17 times negative 100 gives me a negative 17. Negative 17 plus my 40 that I had to add is 23. Alright, last thing it says is to use this equation to predict 250 miles. So we have y is equal to 0.17, and now we're putting in 250 for x, plus 23. 0.17 times 250 plus my 23 gives me $65.50. Y equals 0.17x plus 23. And then I use that equation to predict the 250. When you are doing 15, ladies and gentlemen, they want you to plot these points And when you are doing it, you're plotting the points, and you will draw a line of best fit. Your line of best fit, remember, will go through as many points as possible, and it will try to have as many on the top as you do on the bottom. Then all you're going to do is the exact same as 14, but you're going to take 2 of the points and do the equation through just like we did on 14. All right. If what I would do if I were you is in this you have unit 2 is look at find page 7 in your book or in your packet. Find page 7. Everyone, find page 7. What you should do tonight is the one before it, page 7. So that's what you should do tonight. The one before it and page 7. Well, you remember, I'm not gonna go through all these. So, as far as I'm not going through every single problem. So I'll answer questions, but this is just like the exact same problems we did. So to me, you should be able to do these just like what we did tonight. So that's why I would say that those are the ones I would do tonight. Because tomorrow I'm going to work on actually tomorrow I probably will work on unit 5, just because I know there's a lot of you want to take the test. So I'll probably jump to unit 5 tomorrow. But I will not be going through all these pages, so I'm trying to help you guys know what to focus your attention on. All right. So that's what you need to work on, guys.